Look, here we are once again, standing in front of the one and only Big Banger. The car that took Peter Brock to the famous win at the Mountain in 1984, and we've even heard Peter say on many of occasions that this car here is the most winning Commodore that was ever produced, because it won every race that it was entered in our country before it left the shores and went overseas. But as we say, this is the holy grail of motorsport in Australia, the one and only Big Banger. And have a look at it. Like, you could argue that this car here is the prettiest race car that's ever been built. It's not overloaded with sponsors. It's just an amazing race car, an amazing part of our history in this country. I feel very honoured to be one of the luckiest guys on the planet to be able to own a car that I reckon's worth $5 million all day long, every day, because how do you put a price on something as special as that has meant so much? And as you can tell, I just love this car. And look, I think it's time for somebody else to come along and take this car, take it to another level, keep the spirit of this Big Banger alive. Like, I could talk all day about this car because I love it, and I've been fortunate enough to drive it. I've drove it many times. I've been fortunate enough to get a lap or two with Brocky in this car. So look, it's have a look at it. I think Brocky stated once that it was the most popular race car in Australian history, and then he turned around and said, I think it's the most popular Commodore ever made. And I agree with him. The one and only Big Banger.
It's a crowd favourite. Whenever we got to this car, everyone drooled over it. I think we mopped up around it more often than it was the car that everyone wanted to hear start. Your favourite to start, I know that.
Oh yeah. It's, remember some of the up close and personal tours we did with a lot of people came along. I'd start this car, they'd jump down beside the exhaust and they're sucking the fumes in it. I'm going, whoa, I wonder what, yeah, and we'd be giving it a big stab on the throttle and they'd be sucking it up and loving every moment of it. The car just oozes magic, doesn't it? Look at it.
Well, the era, the Group C era, it's a favourite with so many of the customers that come through. They just loved it, the colour scheme, the fact that it was a 1-2 finish for HDT. You know, it was just a beautiful race car that everyone just loved. Didn't matter whether you were Tirana or Commodore, everyone loved that car.
And you know, one of my special moments, Emma, would be that Sandy and I were fortunate enough to go to England with Brocky with this car in 2005. Still got the stickers on the back window, look, in 2005. And to watch Brocky run this car again up that mountain over there, different to our mountain in Australia, but to run it up the garden path, you might say. And look, he was, until the last day, he was 4th quickest on that mountain in this car. We have some great footage of it taken with the front wheel off the ground, coming into the corners and that. And like, then on the last day, one of the track marshals said, can you do a wheelie, Brocky? So he done this big wheelie and it dropped him out of that 4th spot into 5th spot. So to claim 5th spot in 2005, in 05, back at Goodwood, that just showed you how good Brocky was. It shows you how good the car was too.
Well, and you know, you're talking about the last of the 5 litres.
Yep.
You're talking about just listening to Brock in his Goodwood interviews in 2005. He loved that car. That car was special to him as well.
Yeah, it sure was. And I feel very privileged to be able to be a part of its history and to ride with Brocky in it. Like, I just used to sit there and go, wow, imagine being lucky enough to drive that for 6 or 7 hours at Bathurst that they were. That is a proper race car. Your
laps at Bathurst were a little bit slower behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
50 years of Bathurst in 2012, I think it was back there, the last time it went back.
Yep.
And you were fortunate enough to have that run.
Yeah, wasn't it great? I loved it. Check out my amazing collection of race cars at lloydsauctions.com.au.